What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything you need to know about and what's going on here in our country on a daily basis with your money. Everything you need to know about here, what's going on in Washington, D.C., with politics, with the next stimulus package, and everything that affects you here on a daily basis with inflation, everything that is going on here. So we got a lot to talk about here today. We actually had multiple people arrested here. Six House staffers from the House of Representatives were arrested while protesting in Chuck Schumer's office. So they were in Chuck Schumer's office because they were House of Representative staffers. So they were inside and they were arrested. And guess why they were arrested? Well, because of Joe Manchin. Yeah. Yeah, six House staffers were arrested yesterday for protesting for legislation to address the climate change in Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's office, demanding he restart negotiations with Senator Joe Manchin, according to Capitol Police. Now, you would think they would be in Senator Joe Manchin's office protesting, but he's out with testing positive for the virus. A lot of people testing positive with the virus right now. Both Joes, Joe Manchin and Joe Biden, both positive. The virus is spreading rapidly here. Yeah, over 100,000 people per day testing positive. Some days over 150,000 people testing positive per day. So it's really starting to ramp up. Remember, this new variant is the most contagious variant yet. Some recent tests have shown that this could be the most contagious virus ever known to man, more contagious than the measles. So it's very contagious. It spreads very easily. And they say that it's less deadly, or it could be less deadly than some of the some of the previous variants, but that it spreads easier. It's very, very contagious. Yeah, so I mean, the president has it, Joe Manchin has it, and a lot of people have had it. I've seen a lot of comments in the comment section of some of our viewers, some of our extended family that have it, and a lot of their friends and families have it. A lot of people have it right now. So I know that, it's not just propaganda or something, because a lot of our viewers actually have it. A lot of friends and families have it, and I've seen actually some people say that they have people, friends and family that are in the hospital with it as well. So remember that this is a virus. It's not necessarily just. I know we want it to go away. That doesn't necessarily mean it just poof goes away. Actually, here's actually an update from the White House on this. Check this out.
Claim about the president's recovery and his agenda. Here's what he had to say.
Well, he's feeling pretty well. I talked to him a little while ago, and he's been at work all day on the phones, talking to staff and other people. His recovery's been very, very strong. He's really reacting well to the Paxlovid. I'm not going to predict what day he will test negative for COVID, but he's certainly going to be in isolation for the minimum of 5 days, and then he'll come back to the Oval Office when he gets a negative test.
Perfect. So the president will be back only after a negative test.
Yes.
Perfect.
And again, he, as you know, Simone, he is fully capable of working for the residents.
Yes.
He has the full array of secure communications equipment there, as well as Zooms to do meetings from there. And people have seen him at work, saw him yesterday meeting with the economic team about gas prices on a live stream. So he's able to do his job as president anywhere in the world. He's certainly able to do his job as president from upstairs at the White House residence.
I would agree. So, Ron, there are 17 people that were listed as close contacts to the president. You are on that list. We know that you tested negative today. None of the other contacts on that list have tested positive yet. What do you attribute that to? Is it the policies at the White House, the mitigation measures? What is it?
Well, first of all, Simone, all of us, any of us, could test positive tomorrow or the next day. So I don't want to, not here to spike the football or anything like that. I do think all of us have been very careful. We're careful here at the White House. I mask up in most of the meetings I'm in. I've been wearing a mask. I took it off for this appearance because the technicians are far away, but I've been very careful to mask since being a close contact. I'm careful to mask most days here inside the building. And most importantly, we are fully vaccinated. I'm over 50, so I'm double boosted also. And so, we've taken the steps to protect ourselves. I think the most important thing, though, Simone, is this. If one of us turns out to be a positive case, we'll have the same defenses that the president has, that every person in this country can have. Free vaccines, free boosters, tens of thousands of locations you can find on covid.gov within a few miles of your house. Free tests that we mail to your home. So if you feel sick, you can find out if you have COVID or not.
Yeah, and if that wasn't enough, I know. Just on the health side of things, but then we have this to worry about, or maybe not worry about, but deal with. This monkeypox thing is really starting to ramp up here in the U.S. New York City alone has more than 1,000 people that have been infected. So New York City alone, monkeypox infections surpass 1,000. So just New York City, guys. This is really starting to ramp up here. In fact, you can see here, advocates warn U.S. is at risk of losing control on monkeypox, and that it could already be out of control. Over 1,000 cases of monkeypox were reported in New York City, with cases still rising as the city continues to manage the outbreak. The New York City Health Department said as of Monday, 1,040 people had been infected with monkeypox, with more cases likely not even diagnosed. The department noted that cases are still rising. The city has ramped up testing since the outbreak as the department urges anyone with possible symptoms see a healthcare provider for testing. Residents without a healthcare provider can also call 311. Healthcare experts are recommending a 2-dose vaccine to protect against the virus. Appointments in New York City are filled up as vaccine supply is low. Wow. As of Monday, the state of New York had the most reported cases of monkeypox in the U.S., according to the CDC. This comes days after the World Health Organization had declared a global health emergency for monkeypox. Yeah, so this is for the world here. Yeah, the World Health Organization, so this is for the world, not just for the U.S., has declared the monkeypox outbreak a global health emergency after the virus has reached more than 70 countries around the world. So if you think it's a U.S. conspiracy or something like that, I get that some people think that this is in more than 70 countries. This is in more than 70 countries. Yeah, and they said that this is now a public health emergency of international concern. The World Health Organization, World Health Organization director said. And this is not a new virus, so this is not something that has been recently created. Monkeypox has been around for years. Yeah, yeah. I know you can't make this stuff up, guys. You can't make this stuff up. If it's not one thing, it's another. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Let me know your thoughts here. Hopefully there's no monkeys running around. I know it's not really, you don't have to have a run-in with a monkey to get it, but it's just a little bit of afternoon humor for you. But yeah. Meanwhile, the national average price of gas continues to come down. This is the national average. Your state might be higher or lower. If you're in California, it's definitely higher. But you can see here the current average is $4.32 a gallon. We're actually getting close to that $4 a gallon or $3.99 a gallon here. Getting close to that here. You can see yesterday 4.35. We're dropping about 3 cents a day. A month ago was 4.90. 4.90. So we've dropped about, what is that? 55 cents in a month. So that's pretty good, I would say. You can let me know your thoughts here for 1 month. Pretty pretty decent, pretty good for 1 month, not bad. It continues to drop. That's the good sign here. It continues to drop every single day. I haven't seen a single day that it hasn't dropped. Diesel continues to drop here as well, and that's good. Even if you don't buy diesel, that means that theoretically the price of food and the price of goods should start going down at some point. Theoretically, being the key word there, right? And yeah, you can see here just a week ago it was 4.49 for regular gas. Now it's 4.32, so we've gone down 17 cents in a week. Remember, so 4.32 here for regular, 5.38 for diesel. Remember the all-time highs here was 5.81 for diesel, 5.01 for regular. So with 5.01 for regular here, we're at 4.32. That's down like 70 cents. So that's a pretty significant drop here so far. Hopefully it continues another 70 cents. That would be really nice, really nice. Now, of course, gas prices in California, which is the largest state population-wise, they have a much different gas price. 5.70 for regular there, 6.53 for diesel. So California just has much higher gas prices because they have a much higher state tax, and they have a different blend of gasoline to keep pollution low there because of the large population. So, but again, a month ago it was 6.32, so you can see it dropped 62 cents. So it's actually dropped more dollar and cent wise with regular gas here. So we continue to see the drop there. The price of oil here, $95 for WTI crude, Brent crude at around 104.5. A large disparity there between the two, almost $10 a barrel between the two. But it is nice to see this down below 100. Remember that back in March, this was at 135 and Brent crude was at 140. So we are down like $35 a barrel, or even in this case, $40 a barrel. So hopefully we continue to see them drop there. We continue to see them drop there. And we're kind of seeing some questions here. Is it time to eliminate the federal gas tax and federal road buildings here because of how much money the government is bringing in right now to with the federal, they paid down here. I'll show you this headline here. Yeah, you can see here from Bloomberg, US budget gap narrowed by $1.7 trillion since October. So the government actually was able to pay down $1.7 trillion of the US budget, the US deficit, the US debt, whatever you want to call it here, multiple different kind of words there for that. This is from Bloomberg here. But you can see here, they paid down $1.7 trillion of US debt or US deficit. Okay. So that's kind of already happened. And this is because of, as you can see here, higher tax revenues. Higher tax revenues. So, yeah, my pop-up blocker always kind of goes crazy on this website on Bloomberg because I don't have a subscription to it. But yeah, so higher tax revenues because of low unemployment, more people going back to work. So the government is bringing in more tax dollars. And you can see here recently the White House's proposal for a 3-month federal gas tax holiday, but they haven't been able to pass it because, well, Democrats would back it, but Republicans won't pass it. Republicans won't vote for it. So you can see here, this proposal, however, performs a valuable service. It opens a long due discussion over how and when to consign the gas tax, to just sign it over and get rid of it forever. It was signed into existence by then President Dwight D. Eisenhower in June 1956. The national system of interstate and defense highways was to be paid for by various taxes, including a truck and trailer sales tax and heavy vehicle user tax that would finance the Highway Trust Fund. Most notable was the tax on gasoline, which was set at 3 cents per gallon. Of course, that was back in 1956. Back then, that was, probably, more than what it is, today in relative inflation terms. In defiance of every known law of taxation, the gas tax was supposed to be halved to 1.5 cents per gallon in 1972. That, of course, didn't happen. It currently sits at 18.4 cents per gallon, and with the tax on diesel fuel at 24.4 cents per gallon, but it has not gone up since 1972. So even with inflation, though, it hasn't gone up. So that is interesting to note there. The only senator to vote against the final passage of that was Russell Long, a Louisiana Democrat. Long, who later in his long career service as the Senate Finance Committee chairman, immortalized his philosophy of taxation: don't tax you, don't tax me, tax that fellow behind the tree, right? In the 1970s, Congress began diverting a portion of the Highway Trust Fund to public mass transit, light rail, buses, and bike lanes. Today, about 20% of the Highway Trust Fund monies are diverted to other purposes. A percentage going to mass transit, 12.8% during multiple years, according to transportation services, is more than 2.5 times the percentages of Americans who use mass transit, 40% of whom live in New York. Looking at the big picture, what means is that rural and suburban Americans are subsidizing big city transit riders. And when the Highway Trust Fund was created in the 1950s, variations in miles per gallon were not large for most automobiles. Hybrids, electric cars, and other alternatives to gas-powered vehicles have widened that difference. Very few hourly wage earners, and especially working poor, can afford electric vehicles, hybrids, or BMWs. Their automobiles tend to get significantly worse gas mileage than those driven by the wealthy. Federal gas tax, in effect, is a regressive weapon aimed at these lower income Americans. To that end, Senator Mike Lee, a Utah Republican, has introduced versions of a new bill. The latest iteration would slash the federal gas tax to 7 cents per gallon, revenue which would be expended only on projects related to interstate highway systems. States would resume their constitutionally appropriate role in transportation, and truck drivers in every state would no longer be subsidizing wealthy people in different states, such as Manhattan, or Manhattan, as a city. This would take some of the burden off, people who can't afford a higher fee, a higher gas tax off people that are in the lower classes, and people that can afford things like this. It wouldn't affect them as much. So let me know your thoughts here on this. And remember, as we go forward, typically gas taxes will rise. We're seeing a lot of states raise their gas taxes. Remember, some states have gas taxes on the state level as high as 50 cents, and they're raising their state gas taxes every year or two by a couple cents. But with state gas taxes being as high as 50 cents plus the federal gas tax at 18 cents, we're starting to see gas taxes as high as 70 cents and going up every couple years. So it's not going to be long before you're paying $1 in state gas taxes. California already pays that, and it's going to keep going up. So should gas taxes be changed in some way or form here? Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. So make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on new videos. It's completely free to do so, and I will keep you up to date here with everything. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And here is up to $1,500 in stimulus money, multiple different states with money coming out here. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.